yeah, I mean, that's a big fight, and I'm in this sport to test myself to be the best, and going out there and fighting him and potentially beating him, that's a big deal. He walked away as a UFC champion. He showed himself in boxing to be one of the best boxers out there right now, and so to get that feather in your cap would be huge.
It'd be an interesting stylistic matchup
Yeah.
too. Do you feel like that you have an advantage with your great wrestling, your superior wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret, right? I'm going to go out there and try to take him down,
Right.
And if it's a boring fight, whatever, it is what it is, because that guy has sledgehammers, he's coming at you to
Right.
knock you out, and he's done it a million times, So, yeah, I feel like I'm one of the better, if not the best MMA wrestler at the heavyweight division, and so I definitely put that to the test, going in there and trying to sap his energy, his strength, his arms, all that kind of stuff, put him on the ground, beat him up, and kind of just, obviously follow that game plan.
Is there like Bellator pride going into this thing? Like, hey, I'm going to represent for my promotion and show that we are the best. Any of that going on here?
Yeah, a little bit. You kind of want to come in and come out of there being like, hey, we were in the tougher organization, and I was looking down the line, at the press conference of all the Bellator guys. I'm like, damn, this is like Murderer's Row, right? I'm like, who's losing here?
Yeah.
I know they have their tough guys too, but yeah, I feel like we have more experience. We've been fighting tougher guys and all that kind of stuff. And first and foremost, go out and do my job. But yeah, there is a little bit of pride, in there a little bit.
All right, let's talk about Renan is just a massive dude, Ryan. Talk to me about the challenges of fighting somebody that big, obviously, because once you get the heavyweight, I mean, that's it. There's no other weight classes clearly to go up from there. How do you deal with his height, and how did you prepare in camp to try and deal with his size?
Yeah, he is a massive dude. They said he's big, and then I got face to face with him. I'm like, yeah, he's a massive human being.
Fact check is true. Yeah.
Yeah, it is true. And there's some positives to that for him, and some negatives also, with that big body, he gets tired pretty quickly. He has a hard time getting off his back when he gets taken down. I brought in a guy that brought him before from Brazil, nicknamed the Mountain. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. He's a BJJ black belt. I've been using him for a long time now, taller guys. And he actually, Renan brought him in for a semifinals fight in the tournament, and so they talked and like, hey, my loyalties, lie with Bader. Just want to let you know I'll be in his camp, so I brought him in and I found a 6'9" jiu-jitsu guy, here in Arizona that I can train with. So I'm seeing that body type, day in and day out. So that is huge, and it poses challenges. He's long, you got to get in there, you got to close that distance, and he's going to be throwing, and so but I feel we have a good game plan. Feel like I've been in there, in 5-round fights and championship fights and have the experience. He doesn't. I'm fighting high caliber guys, he has, but I don't think he's fought the guys and opponents I have.
Yeah, talk about that experience, because you've been in these fights, whether it be at light heavyweight, championship fights, obviously heavyweight. I mean, you have been in the big moment after moment after time after time after time. He necessarily, hasn't as much. What about that? And do you think there's a real an advantage for you having been through situations like this?
Yeah, I feel like it is. I've been fighting 5-round fights for like the last 8 years. He hasn't went past 3 rounds. And it is a 3-round fight coming up here. But I've been in every situation possible, and I've fought Murderer's Row. If you look at my opponents versus his opponents, they're great fighters who's been fighting, but he's fighting guys that are like 14 and 15 records,
Right.
in that tournament and whatnot. I'm fighting champions and former champions constantly,
Right.
and so experience is going to play a big factor. I've seen everything in there. I don't get phased in the big moments. And so I think that's going to take control, along with everything else. I feel like his weaknesses are my strengths, so I'm looking to exploit those.